What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to take a look at another matchup. We are facing Sigma, Immortal, and as you can see we already lost. the war is over, and it was quite embarrassing. I think we failed on the strategy of the rooms. Once again, like always, I think it's very good to focus on the med bay early on, especially when it pop-ups very early in the match. And like always, the captains on my alliance decided that no, let's ignore the med bay until the end of the match, and only then we can go back, because making enemies 40% less 40% making enemies have less 40% HP is not helpful at all. So I think because of that we took way too long, and people start to fail many attacks, especially Black Orders against Marauders and so on, because having less HP doesn't help in that match, it seems. So yeah, it was a big L, and I'm pretty salty about it. It was only a 3 million punch across in terms of alliance, so it's quite embarrassing that we lost this match. Mostly because, I don't know if it was overconfidence or bad strategy or everything together, but yeah. So we are going to take a look at the attacks I did, and then we are going to take a look at the defensive wins I had, if I had any. And then we are going to take a look at the enemy's layout, and if the layout is any good or not. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so we are going to take a look at one of my favorite matches, the Swarm aim with the Swarm against the Hero Brawlers. And we are in a room that has the security, and usually this can be a problem, but not for this team, and especially if they have Squirrel Girl, because you can flip that defense down into a defense up, as Scientist Supreme starts way early. Now, if you are not into the security, you should still wait for Squirrel Girl to do her ability first, and then you don't waste your negative effects. And when you are facing a Captain Marvel, and especially if it's like a super big Captain Marvel, gear tier 14 and whatnot, you really want to make sure that they have as little buffs as possible, and that you have the Hangar to take that big nuke early on. If it attacks the Scientist Supreme, usually it's not a problem, or the aim security or something like that, but if it goes for Graviton, that can be a problem, so you want to avoid that as much as possible. And yeah, so you want to apply the disrupt as early as possible on Miss Marvel so she doesn't bounce, and then you can focus on all the other characters. If you can, early on, if you are not in the security and something like that, you can apply the negative effects to Captain Marvel and stun her on turn 1. If not, just ignore her, because apart from the first turn she's not a huge deal, but with all those bleeds, offense down, defense down, speed down, disrupt and so on, she has no chance. So you don't even need a heal block for this match, and you can easily punch up 50k. It's very easy match. Okay, so now we have the X-Force against Taskmaster, so let's see what happens. But I really didn't understand this team. Usually you want to have Korath with Ultimus, and this one has Ultimus but doesn't have Korath, and it has Killmonger, so this one is a little bit confusing. And I guess that's why I won, and that Merc LT was very low, so I was easily able to get him under 50. He died right away, and the Domino also died right away. But then Deadpool doing some nice damage to that Merc Riot Guard. I mean, this team was so low, and usually you can punch up with the X-Force, so I guess against such a low mercenaries it would be easy. But yeah, because I don't have too much experience with this team, I kinda don't want to risk it, so that's why I went for this easy W. Okay, so now we have the Black Order against the Marauders, and they have Fortifier on Strife for some reason. They have Striker on Mystique for some reason. They have Raider on Sabretooth, that's nice. And then on Emma Frost, I think they had Skirmisher, but yeah, I'm not sure if that's the best option. And I did that notice about Strife having Fortifier because he already gives shield to himself and he's kind of slow, so I don't get the relevance on that. So yeah, like always, I like to focus with my Striker Thanos on Strife and have Corvus Glaive and Proxima doing single target damage also to Strife to make sure that he has as little buffs as possible. Now I do the flip after this guy clones, and they clone my Proxima Midnight, so that would be a little bit dangerous. I try to dispel Mr. Sinister, I was not able to, he still has that defense up. My Call Obsidian survived, so that allowed my Ebony Maw to do the ultimate. If Call Obsidian dies, the blind will go to Ebony Maw, so you need to pay attention to that. And now we have several vulnerabilities. We have focus on Strife to make sure we do all those bleeds to him. We keep dispelling him and doing single target damage to remove the shield. Call Obsidian was blind, so he failed the ultimate or the basic, I don't know exactly. So yeah, we have all those bleeds on Strife. He was quite pain in the ass to deal with, and yeah, so now we just have to clear the house. 100k punch up, done very easily, as you guys saw. And now 5 against 1, Emma Frost, doesn't matter how big she is, against 5 she has no chance. So yeah, quite easy. Okay, now we have my first L of the night, and usually this is a very easy matchup, but I don't know exactly what I did wrong or if I was unlucky or something like that. You can punch up very easy against this team 50k, but I don't know I don't know what I did wrong. If I focus too much on everyone else rather than focus on Thor. Maybe I should have applied down to him and get rid of him as fast as possible. I think that was my mistake. I decided to waste my ultimate of Ultimus on Hulk, and usually that's fine when Thor is not in the team, but with such a big Thor in the team with 5 red stars, I guess I should have really applied the down to him and get rid of him as fast as possible. He's the main source of damage. I still try to go back and get rid of him, but as you guys can see, I was stuck behind that 6 red stars Captain America, and I was not able to get rid of him. He has too high a block chance, and then my vision died. I tried to revive him. That's good because it gives defense up to the other 2 guys, but then Chris Cyborg got destroyed. That's also my fault because they are way too low. Then I was blinded when I was trying to apply the taunt. Like they were also very lucky. I got 3 blinds right away, so that's not great. And then their speed advantage completely demolished me. So yeah, I think I played this one very poorly. I should have applied that down to early on and force Ultimus to destroy Thor right away, and like that I would be fine. And other option would be to do the ultimate on Captain America. That would stop their energy source, and he would not be so annoying with all those blocks. So yeah, in other situations where you face this team, the Wave 1 Avengers without Thor, you can focus on Hulk right away, and that's good. But on this situation, I think it's better just to focus on Thor first rather than Hulk or Captain America. Okay, so now we have this AIM team with that gigantic Captain Marvel, and I was a little bit concerned about this team. We have Scientist Supreme, we have AIM Security, AIM Assaulter, Vision for that early defense up, which makes sense, and that gigantic Captain Marvel that almost destroyed my Psylocke right away, so I was very lucky to survive. But whenever you face a team that applies a lot of negative effects, obviously you want to use your X-Men because let's be honest, Phoenix takes them right away, and even if she doesn't, you still have Psylocke to remove them. So yeah. Then I applied the taunt on what's her name, AIM Security, and then Cyclops applied taunt to everyone else, which is what you want to do all the time. And yeah, then we just had to clear the house. I should have focused a little bit more on AIM on Scientist Supreme, but it was fine. But now like it's X-Men with Beast and Psylocke and Cyclops, so this is the best version of the X-Men, so it was no problem to get rid of them and deal with that gigantic Captain Marvel. Okay, so now we have a very traditional match. We have the Brotherhood against the Shield team. As you guys can see, that Coulson is gigantic, and the Nick Fury is not bad either. Those were quite big. And I like, if you want to make it easy for you, if your teams are not way too strong, you want to save these teams for whenever their medbay is destroyed or something like that, but it's up to you. Now, if you dispel the buffs from Coulson with Toad, you can do the blind, but if you can't, you should do the special with Magneto rather than do the blind, the ultimate, because like that you'll stop Coulson from having the offense up. And as you guys can see, like this guy was gigantic, 7 red stars, the Nick Fury had 6 red stars, so they were just massive. And look at that, my 6 red stars get hit 14, Magneto is getting demolished by this guy, so it was quite painful. And my team doesn't have any healing, so when they die or when they take damage, that damage is for keeps. But yeah, I was doing some nice bleeds to them. I did a T4 on my Pyro, which is at 5 red stars, so he's doing some nice amount of bleeds. We need to get rid of that shield medic just to make sure that she doesn't revive anyone. And as you guys can see, she also has insane amount of red stars. This team was just huge, and I was not exactly sure if I was going to win or not, and it took quite a few minutes to deal with it. So now we have that blinded special from Coulson, no problem there. But because we used the special so early, now you don't have the special of Magneto to use against the shield security. So I thought like I'm gonna focus a little bit on that aim assaulter to make sure that they don't do any crits. And I was lucky and I got rid of the shield medic at the same time. And yeah, so I was just praying that that gigantic Coulson would not kill my team. Like 7 red stars on that guy, he can be quite annoying. So you want to prevent as much as possible that he has any type of buffs. You want to make sure that he has slow offense down, and for that you need to have a decent Toad. Recently I'm considering if I should get Toad at 5 reds or not, but maybe not. Those silver promotion credits are hard to come by. And as you guys can see, I lost my Magneto, so now I have to rely on Sabretooth to win the match. Pyro is almost gone as well. Any like if the wind blows, Pyro dies. Coulson had his ultimate once again, so this is now 100% a job for Juggernaut and Sabretooth, and hopefully they were able to do it. But this was a very, very difficult match. Okay, so now we have another shield team, and this one doesn't have Coulson, so it's not a big deal. It has a big Nick Fury and it has a big shield trooper, and we are on the reactor. None of my team doesn't have any buffs. Their team doesn't have any buffs as well. And I decided to use this team on the reactor because they have a very fast turn 1, and the negative effects on them is not a huge problem because usually they don't have any buffs. So yeah, that's great. Ghost Rider with his ultimate, destroying all those minions and applying those bleeds that hopefully we will be able to spread them around if Doctor Strange is able to remove that taunt. Obviously he isn't, And here I was not sure if I was going to spread around and just go for the big damage and get these guys done. But I was able to apply the disrupt and the defense down, so that's pretty good. And now I'll be able to apply some bleeds to the shield security. So next turn I will be able to spread that around. They keep killing my Gregs, which is fine, and yeah, Hela does her ultimate and this team is done. Many people ask me why I use this team, because look at that, this is amazing. You win matches in seconds, and then for the lols I decided to use a stealth Ghost Rider against Shield Medic to see his ultimate. I thought that would be pretty funny. And yeah, so we just have to clean the house here. And before I was using Elsa on this team, but then I decided to use Loki, and I think Loki is way better. He applies a negative resistance to the enemy, so that's pretty good. Okay, now we have another match on the reactor, and we are facing Red Skull, and I'm using my Baron Zemo team. And many people ask me, why do you have Namor here? Why you have Elsa? Like, the amount of burst damage that this team has is just insane. And yeah, it's not only Baron Zemo carrying the team. He does a nice amount of damage, and the disrupts are definitely helpful. But Crossbones already got everyone really down. Elsa also did some nice burst damage, so now we are going to turn rewind them with Namor, and then we just have to clean the house with the Baron Zemo. And it's better that your Baron Zemo, like, it's good that he's strong, but you really don't want to make him, you don't want to focus way too much on him and just rely on him, because if you are very unlucky and your team dies, then you have no way. If your Baron Zemo dies, then you have no way to come back. And like this, to have a different focus, to have good damage on different characters, it's a better way to do it. You want to focus as early as possible on that Hydra trooper, so whenever he dies, you don't get that attack all from his passive. And as you guys can see, like, all that burst damage already reduces the amount of charges that Red Skull has, and then you just have to get rid of him. As soon as you kill 2 or 3 characters, you can just focus on Red Skull and ignore the minions. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty easy, and with the amount of burst damage this team is very easy to deal with. Okay, now we have the Pim Tech against Brawlers. I was very not sure about this matchup, especially because Miles can completely destroy this team with his Disrupt. And the power of my team, it's all over the place. I have 2 characters at gear tier 14. I have 1 character, Ant-Man, with 6 red stars. I have Wasp with 5 red stars, but she has she has no gear. And then I have Yellow Jacket, which was not great as well. Yeah, the level 60 and something like that. So yeah, I was definitely not sure about this team. I think they are going to be good, but especially not against Miles, and especially not when they are so unbalanced. But even so, they are still alive, so let's see where this goes. And I decided to use the special against Miss Marvel, because he heals himself and he does a nice chunk of damage. Then apply the slow. The slow happens at a good moment. The Squirrel Girl already used her special, so that's good. Now we can turn rewind Captain Marvel. For that, you want to have a striker on a Ghost, and with that slow, like, if you can slow lock Captain Marvel and turn rewind her, then you have no problem with her. And that's why I tried this Pim Tech against them. It's definitely not the best option because of all those disrupts. As you guys can see, Stature still has disrupt, but it's not a terrible option. And yeah, I've been trying this Pim Tech team in different places to see what they can do, but I think I need to have them more balanced in terms of gear, so I can have a definitive answer. But yeah, they still did pretty well, and now Miles being annoying like always, and finally Ant-Man with a killing blow. But I don't recommend this matchup. As you guys saw, it's not a great option. Okay, so finally we have the Symbiotes against the Asgardians on the cargo bay. And these Asgardians have an interesting layout of Isoate, I guess. They have Fortifier on Sif, they have Healer on Heimdall and Loki, Raider on Hela, which makes no sense, and Striker on Thor. So yeah. So like always, you want to kill as many Gregs as possible, at least 3. 3 is a good number, 4 is best, but that's what I usually like to do, like at least kill 3 or 4. But this is on the cargo bay, as you guys can see, and Hela has that pesky immunity. So usually I spread the offense down from one character near Hela to her, but because of that I was not able to. I had to flip those buffs on her. And this is one of the problems of the symbiotes on the cargo bay, is that if the Asgardians have immunity, you don't have such an easy time. But it's not a huge problem either. Maybe in the future we'll have Odin, and Odin will apply immunity on Asgardians and remove negative effects or something like that. It would be an interesting concept, and it would stop this this counter. Okay, so when you have the chance, you want to apply Disrupt to Hela, then you want to extend, and right now I'm missing that heal block, which will hopefully apply. I was lucky, I got the Gregs on the wrong side of Hela, that allowed me to focus way harder on her, and yeah, as soon as you get rid of her, you don't have such a huge problem. And yeah, all those Gregs spawn around Sif, which was great. So now I just have to clean the house. We have speed up, we have defense up, we have all those regens. Hell is gone, and yeah, we just have to finish it. And yeah, this was the last match I had on this war, and it's always good to win with a W. Even if you are losing, at least you got some easy credits. Okay, so now you're going to take a look at my defensive wins and see how it went. So we have my Fantastic Four with She-Hulk. They got punched down by 70k, so of course they didn't have a chance. We had some work here on this guy, on Human Torch, but it didn't went far. Then I had my Taskmaster with the mercenaries, punched down once again 60k with the Brotherhood. This is not usually a good matchup, and as you can see, most of their characters got destroyed. But this Magneto at gear tier 14, probably 5 red stars, he had a good chance. So that's not terrible for them, nice done. Then we have X-Force against my Dr. Octopus, and this guy is a big sponsor of OMG. He must have some really big red stars on X-23, and of course she destroyed my entire team. X-Force, it looks like it's all about Negasonic and X-23. As long as you have 6 red stars on both of them, they can destroy any team. But if it's the other characters that have higher red stars, you'll not be so lucky. So then we have my Young Avengers with Captain Marvel. It seems that Captain Marvel is leaving this team very soon. They use the Brotherhood. This is a very easy matchup. No problem there, but for some reason they punched it down like almost 80k. I don't really understand why. With the Sabertooth, this is super easy matchup. You win in like 30 seconds, but nicely done. Then we have my Guardians with Sif and Shuri. They used Gear Tier 13 Brotherhood. Pretty beefy, as you can see, Magneto here and Pyro, so they must have some good red stars. So this was a 40k punch up, so nicely done. I really don't expect much against this team, to be honest. It's just to make sure that they burn one big team. Then we have the X-Men against the Wave 1 Avengers. They did a good job. I still need to get some higher stats on Thor and on Hawkeye, otherwise they will not do anything. They need big red stars, otherwise they will get focused and then there will be no problem. Finally, I have my Inhuman shield team. They got attacked by the Black Order and nicely done. They destroyed it without taking too much damage. And they only have Ebony Maw as a healer, so that's very, very well done. Great job. And then we have a Black Order against the Marauders, and as you can see, some people think that the Marauders don't deal too much damage, but as you can see, they almost lost. It was a very, very close call, and this was a 20k punch down, so not bad, not bad. So in terms of defensive wins, I got none, but sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. They didn't took any chances, as you guys saw. They always punch it down quite a lot. And that's what you should do. Like, it's better to play safe and win than trying to show off and then lose. So this is the way you should play in terms of offensive attacking. In terms of attacking. Okay, so let's take a look at their layout and check out their strategy, if it's good or not in terms of room positioning, or if they should have some kind of improvement. Okay, so now you're going to take a look at the layout of Sigma Immortals and see if they have a good strategy or not. So first they have Cargo Bay, that's good, Cargo Bay on the left, Reactor in the middle, and then Bridge on the top. That's decent. So let's see the second wave. They have Med Bay down. This is depends, especially because you have an easy room on top, the Cargo Bay. So I don't know too much about this decision. Then they have the security in the middle with the reactor on top. That's a good combination. So they're applying the defense down on the Med Bay. I mean, it's okay, depends on how big your teams are, but if you have a situation like this, you want to make sure that you have very big teams on your Med Bay. But it was not the case. They actually had very easy teams there. So that's why I think it was a terrible strategy from my alliance to completely ignore tier 2 Med Bay. I think we should have focused on it and just destroy it. Then they have the hangar. The hangar here is also okay. He's also getting the defense down from the Med Bay. On the hangar, the room is not so important, so you can ignore it a little bit more. So as you can guess, they have the armory down, or the barracks on the left side, then the armory on the right side, and you have the security, no, you have the engineering in the middle. So that's decent. You are applying defense up, defense down on the security, so that's good. You have some protection here. You can have decent teams and it will mess up with your enemies. Then they are applying defense down like this. This is a very good combination. Like security and engineering, they should always be in the middle, because like this they affect 4 rooms. So it's up to you if you want to have like a stronger reactor in the middle or something like that. This is not perfect, but it's pretty good. And I think I like a little bit more the layout that the other alliance had, the Legion's Gambit, compared to this one. But this one is pretty decent as well. And it really depends on where you focus your most powerful players. If you want to do a situation like that, you really want to focus high defense here on the Med Bay and on the barracks, and then only have a little bit higher here on the armory, because the hangar is, I mean, it's decent, but it's not super great. But yeah, this is their layout. I would not say it's like super crazy powerful, but it's very, very high in terms of quality. So yeah, great job on your attacking, great job also on your layout. And let's take a look really quick on their defensive wins, and we'll see why we lost so much. So 3, 6, 12, 15, 17, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So they had a little bit more than 1 loss per character or per player attacking. That's decent. That's usually the maximum you want to have, but take a look at ones we lost. So we have 12 here, 17, 21, 24, 26, 28, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 43. So that's almost double. So it's like we lost for every 10 attacks we lost 2. That's pretty terrible, and we should not have played this bad. Maybe it was a little bit of overconfidence because we had such a great week last time. And yeah, so in terms of damage, I think I was pretty high for my lance, but I failed one attack as well. And yeah, it was not terrible, but we really need to chill out in terms of the confidence and punch down. Make sure we win the fights and not try to show off or try things that we don't know for 100%. And you also need to be careful with that MSF bot. It's a great tool, but it's not 100% guaranteed of the results that you have there. So yeah guys, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Secret Warriors against Sigma Immortals. It was quite frustrating, but they have a good setup, they did good attacks, they have a good layout, they had a good strategy in terms of focusing on the rooms. So congratulations on your W. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button like a boss. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.